I think slavery was a business decision that enriched this great nation, and I think a lot of people benefit from the suffering of the enslaved Africans, and I think I would not put it past these people to reframe this in a way that benefits them. So would America, would it look different? Yes. I think it would be for its detriment. But I'm sure if you ask a lot of YT people, maybe they wouldn't mind fewer BLK people in America. But, that's how I see it. Let's just keep it real. I mean, you do know that given the history of this country, we cannot pretend that this is like some kind of a utopia. We know the history of redlining, Jim Crow, slavery. We have to understand that this country was not made for slaves or their descendants in mind. So it would be a mistake to think that they wouldn't figure out a way to live without BLK people. And I'm gonna land on that.
Go ahead, Chris. You had a rebuttal.
I did. So, one of the things you had neglected to mention, Tether Brainstorm, is that military wise, Black Americans, we actually have extensive military knowledge. We know where all of, let's just say, the alleged bodies are buried here in America. So technically, that mafia thing you use, they would either have to, let's say, whack us or pay us or do right by us because we know so much. So when y'all think about, oh, well, they want the Black people up out of here because it was never envisioned for Black people. At the end of the day, Black people have been here since the beginning of the time. We know everything. And there's no way that they're really going to be able to get rid of us without us going telling other people. So if we go over to, as let's say, Love had said Jamaica, right? We go to Jamaica, meaning all Black Americans, right? That means the ones that's in the Navy SEALs, the ones that's in the Army Rangers, the ones that's in military intelligence, they're all going over to Jamaica or Nigeria or wherever we're going with extensive knowledge on what America has and doesn't have. With also knowing how to make pew-pews, explosives, napalms, all these different things. So you think America's just going to say, yeah, y'all going all over there and just go somewhere else. Doesn't make sense. I don't think that makes sense to you guys as well. I'll land there.
$20 trillion is
I
2020.
actually think they'll never allow all of us to leave like that. It'll be a fight for our lives, honey. Go ahead. Tell the think tank your final say.
I was just going to say $20 trillion is $20 trillion. And if that was really the case, and they would not have tried to ship Black Americans to Liberia, and they would not be trying to Planned Parenthood unborn Black Americans. So I think we're being too sentimental here. I think it's useful to see your government as a business that may be looking to benefit itself at your expense and not
Wait a
you.
minute, tell the think tank.
This notion.
EJ, hold on. I'm sorry, tell the think tank. EJ, I'm gonna rotate you down. Thank you for coming up. You can come back up. I just gotta bring somebody up. All right, thank you. Go ahead, tell the think tank.
No, I'm just saying America is a business. It was created to benefit slave owners and their descendants. Given the history of this country, it's a mistake to be too sentimental and think that this government, which, if you believe in systemic racism, you have to understand that it's coming from the government. So why would you think that they wouldn't be okay with you leaving, especially if they owe you $20 trillion? And I'm gonna land on that.
Indigenous, hey.
Hey, what's going on, sis? I definitely have a rebuttal to this young man's argument. First of all, I just want to say anybody who thinks that they know our history just by studying it through a book, you got us fucked up. That's just the first thing that you need to know. First of all, I wanted to say when the United States came to our leaders and asked who wants to volunteer to leave on a decolonization experiment, okay, 1862. Our Black elite, these were not formally enslaved Africans. These were no people of African descent. We know who these people are. They have names. They have a lineage of people that are still here. We volunteered. There is no deporting Black Americans. When this issue came up in the White House, we represented and advocated for ourselves. We told the president we wasn't going anywhere. But the president went to Congress, and at that time, Congress opened up a purse of $100,000 to $600,000 in the 1860s to fund this decolonization experiment, not deportation, decolonization. That we were being asked to leave. There were a number of volunteers, less than 2,000 volunteers that left on a decolonization experiment, and we see how that experiment went. So if we were African, if we were all linked into this whole flat blackness thing, we would not have the results of that experiment that we have. We also have an experiment from 1864, mind you, to 2026, 60 plus years of this integration experiment with migrants who we use our grassroots to move over here. See, they don't know about the 1923 Johnson-Reed Act being changed into the Hart-Celler Act. They don't know that none of their leaders, none of their African leaders, none of their Caribbean leaders came over here and set up pathways for them. It was our leaders that did that. By the way, I heard this Jamaican up here also. Jamaica, your motto is out of many one people. Who are those many one people? You believe in a amalgamated community, a homogenous community. If we were to ask a Chinese person down in Jamaica, what is their nationality? They're going to tell us Jamaican. If we were to ask a white person, a black person, or whoever person, they're going to tell us that they're Jamaican. Not that they're black, white tea, Chinese, or anything like that, that they're Jamaican. Out of many, one people is their motto. When these people set up their independence and set up their flags and their banners, it did not represent flat blackness. It represented them, their tribe, and their tribe's sovereignty. Right? So these people come up here talking about all of our history. They never experienced it. This young man talking about redlining. Where was you when redlining was happening? Right? Is your generational wealth impacted by what this government set up structurally against us? Was your family, was a descendant of an immigrant family impacted by black codes? Right? What you don't know when you speak about our history is that we've always had political prowess in this country. If there was not, if black Americans, right, did not live in the United States of America, the United States of America would still be 13 colonies, an agrarian society, and would still have slaves. But they have us. So there's a different story now. Right? And that story needed to be reconciled. And every time we get close to reconciling this issue, here we go with a buffer class, individualistic minded people. Right? That's what I want to say. So all these people up here professing they know history, they didn't experience it. They're not a peer to it. They're studying us like they're studying for some damn test. This is no longer a test. This is real life. Right? This experiment is over. We know what happened over the last 60 plus years. We don't have to review it. We know, and we are feeling the pain now. Feeling the pain of what immigration has done to us. Feeling the pain of people coming over here cosplaying us. That wasn't even the original purpose. The reason why we fought the civil rights movement, my people, is because we had a broken contract during the Reconstruction Amendments. We had guarantees. There were no guarantees to immigrants. There were guarantees and promises to us and our generational family members, our ancestry, our lineage. The promises were made to us. When the promises were made to us, the United States of America didn't even know what the hell an immigrant was. You understand? So these people in Jamaica, they have a movement. They need to go and join JLP, PNP, Norman Manley, Bustamante. That is your legacy. That's not ours. That's your legacy. Haiti, you have a legacy. You need to go to France. You need to do this. Y'all need to work with y'all country's government. Y'all always talking about what y'all over here for, to right y'all wrongs, to get the U.S. government, what the U.S. did to your country. You should be working that out through your government. The only people that you should be asking unity for is the people that also went through that same loss. We are not those people. We are not your family, and we're no longer advocating for you. And that's how that's going to go. Right? Advocate for yourself. Self-determination looks good on everybody. Anchoring and tethering doesn't. Right? And you would be nothing and nowhere in your lands if it was not for black Americans going down and helping write your constitution, writing your rights of liberation, and helping liberate you. There was not one single African or Jamaican or a Caribbean leader that came here and taught us anything. And there wasn't one leader in your history that taught you how to flee. So what you're doing now is of your own mindset, and I land my plane there.
Thank you, Trust. All right, tell the think tank
Yeah.
final say.
Final say. Okay, I think we went off topic. I was just, you said a lot that had nothing to interact with anything that I said. My own point is this: if the same people who enslaved your ancestors for free labor to enrich themselves,
Thank
why
you.
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they, remove you from the country instead of paying what they owe you? I think you have this very romantic view
Stop
of
thinking.
how this thing works.
Hold up. I
Hang
know
on,
how.
no, hang on. Let me land. I
don't
didn't
need you to
interrupt you.
think. I don't need you to start
I didn't
thinking. I need
interrupt
you to
you,
know.
sir.
Okay, hold on. Let's do this. There's 50 million African so-called Black
Can we put him on
Americans
the
in the
clock?
United.
Because he likes to
Hold on.
talk a
I
lot.
need to ask you a question because
Hey,
this is
stop power talking
unexposed.
people. Let them talk, bro. Let Tether
Shut
talk.
up unless
Keep
you can
talking, bro.
box. Shut up unless you can
Bro,
box. Here we go.
okay,
Check this
you're
out.
saying a whole
There
lot
are
of nothing, though.
45.
Okay,
Hold on. There are
everybody,
40.
relax. Wait,
Thank you.
Respect the host one at a time. Respect the host, guys, please. One mic.
Right. I was. All right, if I could just land my plane, I'll be very brief. So,
Yeah, bro. I'm listening to you, bro. Go ahead, bro.
So we have to deal with this reality that the same country that enslaved your ancestors for its own benefit can also remove you to avoid paying what is owed. That's all I'm saying. So if you can understand that that is the case, if
What
you
you
can,
don't understand, and you already landed.
no,
What
you
you
don't
don't
understand.
understand is that
Tether,
already
go on
happened.
mute.
That already happened.
Wait a
It's
minute,
already
Indigenous.
happened.
Hold
And check
on,
this out.
Indigenous. Hold on. Did you land your plane? Tell the think tank.
No,
Okay,
I
well,
didn't.
hurry up and land so he can.
I'm
So
trying
he
to,
can
but I
say
keep
it.
getting interrupted. So,
Okay, just let him
okay,
land, Indigenous. And you got it. And you got
all
it.
right. If the people who enslaved your ancestors now owe you $20 trillion, you want to think that no, they can't make it without you. When they've already said that reparations is not owed to you because slavery was legal at the time, and the Republican Party's official position is that integration and civil rights were the reparations. So any person who thinks like that doesn't mind getting rid of you. That's all I'm saying, and I'm a land.
Okay, go ahead, Indigenous, so we can get to Chris.
Thank you. So, what our government actually said, if you go back and you read what that proclamation said at the United Nations General Assembly, it said that Africans are not owed. Period. In the goddamn discussion, right? Now, here's the other thing. The decolonization whole thing, it's already happened, right? What ended up happening when white tea people wanted to keep us down was they let a buffer class group in. That's what happened. From 1870 all the way up to the early 1960s, we outpaced white tea people in wealth, income, wages, and education. He keeps talking about who enslaved who. He don't even know how many slaves were here in the United States of America. He don't even know how many people own slaves here in the United States of America. What they do not understand, and this is their misconception, is that all black people were subjugated and enslaved. There's a difference between being a slave and being enslaved. You understand? There wasn't 100% of us enslaved. There were free people here. Okay? There were artisans here. And then there were also people enslaved, shackles, plantation, that sort of thing. But that was a very, very small part of the United States of America. What you are not including is those people like the Black 400, the Sons of New York, the Sons of New Jersey. You're not mentioning the 54th Street Presbyterian Club. You're not mentioning the Ugly Fish Club. You're not talking about the Congress that was set up in Louisiana.
Who is
You're
owed
not talking
reparations?
about these.
Who is
Hold
owed
on,
reparations?
hold on, because
I'm
now
asking.
you in our history, right? Because I'm
I'm
not
asking.
talking about your history. I'm talking about my history,
But
which you are
who is
not a
owed the
peer to.
reparations?
I'm sorry?
Who is owed reparations is my question.
Who is owed 40 acres and a mule and who got it? And then who was that 40 acres and a mule promised to, right? And then retracted from. See, this is the history you don't know. We were given reparations, but they backtracked, which is the reason why I said the civil rights movement had to happen. I wasn't talking about the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Our civil rights movement have been perpetual. Every time there was a contract broken, we had a movement. See, this is what you don't know, but you think you know because you think you're us. You're not a peer. You're not us. And I don't give a damn how many books you read. You're never going to be us and never will understand us. Period, point blank. Everything that you're talking about, our
I'm still
history is a
eligible
revision.
for
Okay, y'all,
Shut
we
up,
have to
boy.
move